Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are joining us from around the world today. Welcome back. I hope you all had a wonderful week off. I know some of you are probably on spring break this week or next week, depending on where you are in the country, or you've already had your spring break about 2 weeks ago if you're like me here in Florida. Our kids were off a while ago. So we're wrapping up towards that the end of the school year here. So um, I'm Kelvin. I'm with Swivl, professional learning specialist. Thank you for joining us today. And joining me, as always, are my wonderful, talented colleagues, Vince and Oksana. So, Vince, Oksana, how's your week been going? Did you have a good time off from last week?
Yeah, it's funny, it's exciting, and interesting that last weekend it snowed at the place where I am right now. So it was really unexpected and but beautiful. Yeah, in April, snow in April. I haven't seen it for a while, but had to bear it last weekend.
I always say this is why I moved further south. I'm done with those cold weather snaps in
Yes.
April and the blizzard that I had in May when I was in high school. I'm like, no, I'm done. I need to go someplace warm so you can avoid that.
Right.
I always feel it should snow maybe two times throughout the year. Christmas, maybe Christmas
Christmas,
Eve.
yeah.
That's about it. Like that's
Yes,
it.
good enough.
Oh my goodness. What about you, Vince?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I actually went north and tried to get out of the heat down here, but now we're back into the heat, so in the
Mhm.
desert. But yeah, everything's going good. It was nice to take a little break from Swivl last week, but we're back at it this week. So
Excellent, excellent.
yeah,
So I always wonder, how do you feel when you say that to people and they're like, "Oh, but it's a dry heat," you know?
hey, hey, you got to come
Always
and
like, yeah,
experience
but it's still
experience it yourself. So,
like, what are you talking about here?
yeah, like 117 degrees, 44 degrees Celsius, something like that. Just
Yeah,
not
you just
exactly
reach a point
the.
where it's just like it don't matter.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm sure you all didn't join us here today to listen to us talk about weather because you're like, weather,
Of course
ugh,
they did.
don't get me
Where else would they
started on it.
come?
But you're probably here to hear us discuss student engagement. And so that's going to be our topic for today. And student engagement can take many different forms. Whether you are just trying to make sure your students are focused in on the lesson that you might be teaching them in math, science, social studies, reading, whatever, or it could just be them being engaged or you showing an interest in their lives and you all getting to know each other. So you can, of course, have that mutual respect and, at the end of the day, get them to do the things that you want them to do, right? So we're going to start off and just kind of talk about that and what student engagement looks like for us when we were in the classroom and for you out there as well, and some of the things that you did right now to strengthen those
Mhm.
relationships. So that's going to be our first top question. I'll go ahead and kick us off here. Like I said, there's many different things that I would do, but one of the things that I really did enjoy was journaling. So
Oh yeah.
all my students, they had journals, so just notebooks and everything, and they would just write down like just their thoughts. I would post questions, maybe, hey, how do you think this week has gone? What was your favorite part of this week? What are you looking forward to this month? Things like that. And they would write. I would also write in my journal and share with them what I had read or written down, and they would have an opportunity to write responses back to me as well. And then I would collect the journals and write down notes to them as well, just kind of having that open dialogue there. This is another way of getting to know each other, working on those communication skills as well, which I thought was really nice. But that was always a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and the students did enjoy it. And I found out a lot of different personalities that my students had, and some things that it was easy for them to write that they wouldn't necessarily express openly to for public consumption, which I also thought was really nice. So, Oksana, Vince, what about you all as far as student engagement is concerned?
Yeah, I can go with Oksana. So yeah, I had a couple of things actually. One of them is more like academic, which would be I used to use this program, and I'm sure a lot of teachers that are watching now, the program called Vocabulary, and it's basically they have like raps and things like that about subjects and different things. But there's a part of Vocabulary if you use their paid version, and you can actually create your own raps and songs according to whatever subject you're doing. So I would always have students, and there's always a couple of them that are kind of afraid to talk or express themselves. But when you let them create some songs or create lyrics, they really would express themselves a lot. So I would use that a lot to kind of learn about them a little bit more. And then another thing I used to do was on our desks, we were able to take notes and kind of write on the desk with dry erase markers. So we would also like leave messages, to like, hey, what's something you want to say for the weekend, or one thing about yourself, and they would write. They love to write on the desk because it seems like they're breaking the rules, but it was something that I would always encourage because they wouldn't have a chance to do that, and then they felt like they would want to speak more and tell me things, or just basic messages or whatever. So you learn a lot just from kids writing on the desk. So that was something that we'd always have some activity at the end of the day, or maybe at the end of a week on a Friday or something like that. So.
Awesome. When you were saying that, Vince, I had two thoughts. First, I was like, you're one of those teachers that were very creative that I envied. I always loved the teachers that could come up with those creative raps or songs or just electronic devices with
let me be clear. I never made them. Okay? I can't do that. It was students that made it. I am not creative, so I would listen to them. So.
Okay, well, thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. I'm terrible at making those songs.
And then the second one was when you talk about writing on a desk. Yes, I think that's universal. I would have to say. I think all students love that. And one of the favorite things in our class too, when they were writing on the desk, we had shaving cream, which they could put on there to clean off the desk. I didn't realize that a teacher had turned me on to that. And it's like, oh, it's really cool. And then they can pretend like they're shaving, and it like wipes it straight off the dry erase markers. So I was like, oh, but yeah, they play around with that, and didn't do it every time, but the times that we did do it, it was a really nice, interactive, engaging activity with the students as well. So what about you, Oksana? What were some of the things that
guys, I need to say you are very, very creative. I love your ideas about journals. I love your ideas about writing on the desk, everything. So I know what I used to do is, first of all, it was more about speaking, communicating with each other, trying to get to know each other. And I was trying to make them work in small groups and make sure that they work with different students, group mates each time, so they could get to know other group mates better as well. Some of engaging activities that we could do, like small ones, for example, when the weather was bad, I could ask them, okay, try to find 5 positive things in this bad weather, or again, try to find some benefits, 5 benefits about that. I know everything is closed on Sunday, or about some kind of not so bad and negative thing, but that we consider to be negative. And they are trying to think in a different way and trying to find something positive. Speaking about the Mondays, when they usually come from the weekend, and instead of the usual question, how was the weekend or what did you do, I could ask them to write down 5 keywords about your weekend, and your partner needs to guess. So if there is a word like a cake, so did you bake a cake? Did you buy a cake? Did you eat the whole cake? Something, and it could provoke some kind of small talk between them. So there's some kind of communicating activities that I could remember on the spot.
I really love that, especially when you were talking about just the small talk, because I'm definitely seeing it more now. But when I was still in the classroom teaching, I saw it a lot then too. But with technology, as far as texting, that's all I've seen. My sons are really big into that, and that's all they do is text to their friends. They don't talk anymore. It's
No.
like, if you ever, when's the last time you talked to friends? Like all the time. It's like, no, not texting, like actual words, not sending emojis or anything. I'm like, oh, well, I see him at school all the time. It's like, yeah, but I seen you and your friends get together. You're just a bunch of goofballs, you don't do anything. But that small talk is really, I think, a very valuable skill, because it builds on communication, learning how to interact with people. So again, I think this definitely all ties into obviously what we're talking about today with just building those relationships through student engagement, but also transitions into what we're going to be moving on to next is how does this relate to Swivl? So you're like, okay, I have my Swivl robot, got the app on my tablet here, and we got the platform. So what can I do with student engagement with this? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's what we're about to go over right now. So I just want to preference this first by saying, well, obviously we're going to talk about the how and then kind of the why behind it. But I'm going to pretend to be a student that's in the classroom that's been given this task. Okay. And the task is just going to be kind of going back to my original example of journaling. So it's just going to be journaling with the Swivl Teams by Swivl platform. Okay.
Cool.
So let me go ahead and share my screen now, because I did not do that already.
Yeah. Success.
All right. So, okay. Looks like let me go ahead and sign in here. All right. Let me see. Did Mr. Novoa respond back to my invite? Looks like, all right.
Oops, I forgot.
That's all right. Hasn't done it yet, but that's fine. I'm going to let me go ahead and just record a new project here, because I know he asked us to talk about what we did on spring break today, for today's entry. I'm just going to do a regular webcam recording this time, because I don't have anything to share on my screen. So, well, Mr. Novoa, my spring break was really interesting. I would say I had a lot of fun. I really didn't do too much except hang out home mostly, but we did spend 2 days at the beach, which was really nice. We did kind of a overnight thing and was at the beach for 2 days. And I know I don't like the ocean. I know you know that, but I do enjoy walking along the beach and everything. And I get my feet in the water, no more than up to my ankles, because if you get past your ankles, that's when the sharks can get you. You know how I feel about sharks and jellyfish and other critters there. I swear, I would be the person who's like, oh, they don't attack. Yeah, it would be me that happens to. But anyway, we had a lot of fun. We got to throw the football around with my brothers, and splash my mom, which she really does not enjoy because she hates getting her hair wet. But I was like, you're at the beach, you can't not get wet. That's why you go there. Ate a lot of food. I think the favorite thing that I had was ice cream, some milkshakes, because I love the milkshakes. Those are really, really, really good. And yeah, that was about it. Oh, also I did start watching JoJo Kaisen, the anime that you had told me about. Really, really, really good. So thanks for that recommendation. I appreciate it. And that's my entry. I know you said try to keep it, between 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm reaching that 2-minute mark there. All right. Well, hopefully you'll respond to this one, because you didn't respond to my last one. I know you say you get busy sometimes, but come on, Mr. Novoa, get on top of it. Jeez. All right. Bye. Okay. Let me make sure I upload this. All right. Double check.
Is there a time limit on these that you can do when you're recording these, Kelvin?
Yeah, so time limit, and then upload it. I will just name it trip to the beach. And then I can go ahead and save it. And then once it's saved, Mr. Novoa will get that notification. So time limit for the videos. This is, again, Kelvin speaking. And essentially, that's what it could look like. This is an example of a class that's been doing this for a while, obviously. And you just save that video. The time limit, I would keep it short. As you can see there, there's a lot of ideas and going around in there, but about 3 minutes or less is fine, because that's would pretty much like 3 minutes or so would equate to pair at least a couple of paragraphs, maybe a full page or two of just speaking. So if they actually written it down like that, so keeping it short is nice. That way they don't get into that. Okay, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? But also making sure that they know the topic. So typically, I would display the topic on the board for them. You can even also just put the topic here in Teams as well, for them to have, so that they will know and just kind of and they can share that video to the folder that you want them to share to. So they know it's like, oh, this is spring break folder, so I need to do my spring break video and share it there, that sort of thing. So it's definitely going to look different depending on how you're going to use it, but this is just one of those unique use cases.
Uh,
Yeah,
I've got a
yeah.
question. Is it only the student is recording the short like entry or replying to the teacher's question? Only the teacher then watches it, or the student is going to share it with his group mates? How do you see this case?
Very good question, Oksana. And that one I would say either or. It just depends on how the teacher wants to do it for their particular class, because you could just make it where the student creates the video and it's just going to be shared to the teacher, and the teacher can put the timestamp comments and put a note in at the end of the video just to respond back, and they see that, and then they can make their next video. Or it could be something where the teacher wants them to share this video into the group, so everyone in the group can see it. And then maybe an additional activity for this one would be to look at 2 to 3 other students' videos, and then type your response, add your timestamp comment to that video, just responding like, oh, that was pretty cool, you went to the beach, I got to go to Disney World, I never been. Or maybe I went on a cruise, and like, at least you guys got to go to the beach, I didn't do nothing, I stayed at home the entire time in my bedroom, which was a lot of fun, I tell you. So I see it either or.
I was also thinking this could even be like a station, for example, if the perhaps the teacher could let the students, because technically they wouldn't have an account, right? So they could just log into the teacher's account, assuming that you're okay with that, right, as a teacher, and you could leave it on the computer for a station, and students can simply just create a video right there inside the account there, and make sure they put their name on it and the title to make sure that whose it is. That's another thing that you could do for this, so they don't have to share it or anything like that. So
yeah, it simplifies a lot, right?
Exactly. And that's what I know some teachers have shared with us. That's what they do. Some have even created just a class account where it's start an email account. Might just be Mr. Novoa's class 2022, right? And that's going to be the email address that's associated with your Teams account. And that's where all the videos are going to be housed. So again, that all the students know it. It's the generic login, essentially, so they can share their videos there. schools that have one-to-one devices use this, or kind of how Vince was saying, just having just the teacher's normal login, if they do want to be able to put those timestamp comments in there on the videos as well. So again, it's really just going to be dependent on how you're going to use it, or what you're looking to do, dependent to determine the best course of action for you. So again, lots of ideas out there, but hey, you get to pick the one that works best for you. So that's the how behind it. And we already started talking about the why, and with what we were just saying, but that sort of takes us into our second question as to how will video impact student engagement within your district or school. So we just already talked a little bit about that. One of the things that tends to come up a lot is time as well. It's for some students, it's easier to say their thoughts and things out loud versus writing them down on paper. I've had a number of students that would, and we didn't have video at the time, but used just tape recorders that would feel better or more comfortable, or it was easy for them to just be recorded, audio, have their audio recorded for their summary. Okay, so, and that was actually one of their accommodations as well. So again, it just depends, but that's another reason why, or how it could have that impact, and why it might be beneficial just to help save that time and engaging for more students, because again, we don't all learn the same way. But Vince, Oksana, what are you thinking on that as well?
I also right now thought about the idea that the student has an opportunity to re-record, to change the recording before they send it to a teacher. And it could be also a benefit, because first of all, if a student has just finished speaking, let's say it was like history, subject on history, and they remember that, okay, I have just forgotten some kind of important dates, to include. Let me re-record. So it improves their knowledge, first of all, right? Okay, they could do it like 10 times, but they will be doing better and better. Then it could improve their speaking skills, their speech, how they sound, and until they like it. So they could listen to their speeches, to them speaking, and they could re-record until they are satisfied. So I think it's like a very good way for self-improvement before you could send it and submit to a teacher.
Excellent. Yes, I couldn't agree more. I just kind of demonstrated that there while Oksana was talking. Hopefully you saw that on the screen there. It's really simple. You just play it back like she said. If you don't like it, hey, retake, do it again. As many times as it takes. I know I've been guilty of that. Sometimes I stumble over my words, but nope, we're redoing that one. What do you think?
Yeah, also kind of similar to what Oksana was saying, is that it's really important that when the students make these videos, that they can prepare, they can write down what they want to say, they can practice. It's almost like practicing their speech as well, and practicing their presentation skills all at one time. They can use the Swivl robot. If you have one already in your classroom, you can use the app and they can record it like that, or you can use it the way Kelvin's been showing you right there on the top right of the screen, where you can go into that recording, adding a new project there. And students are going to be able to practice. They can re-record, they can add a description. And what I really like about this is that if they have something to share with you, for example, maybe a document, a picture, maybe a link to a website, they can add that into the description, so you can see whatever they're referring to. So as you can see right there where Kelvin is showing you, you can add additional materials. This is powerful because, it's not just a video, it's other resources that they want to share with you as well. So it's very good. Oh, here you go. Oh, okay, yes. For example, like if a student wanted to share, this is my photo album or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. You just add it there and save it. There you go. I got to put a name too, so. Don't forget to put your name capitalized.
Exactly. Oh, I forgot to put the URL. It's get me. Let me just delete that.
Yeah. Just an example. Yeah.
But yes, so there's again lots of different use cases for this. Several things that we've heard from just our our community at large, the school districts that we do work with, just different things that they are utilizing as well, which sort of takes us into our final thoughts as to sharing those concrete examples. So another example of something that I thought was pretty interesting, very unique in how they were doing the student engagement, but it was show and tell. So doing show, with the Swivl robot or with the Teams platform, you're obviously able to record those videos in nice, unique ways. But it also allows you to record things that maybe you're not otherwise able to do as well. So one school district, which I thought was really, again, pretty cool when they would do their show and tell, but it was more interview style. I would say it was for history because they were interview historical figures. So their grandparents essentially are great grandparents, and just ask them a list of questions, kind of what it was like when they were a kid, just things like that. And I thought that was really cool. They got to share that and, get to see different perspectives of what life was like, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago as well, from different cultures as well. So it was really nice addition to that, as well as bringing in food items or clothes or pictures as well to share, which again I'm always a sucker for food, so they had me there too. So but that was just one of the ideas that was shared to us by again one of our partner schools that I thought was really nice and tied into what we're talking about today. Any other thoughts or shares that you might have, either Vince or Oksana?
Yeah, go ahead, Oksana.
I was thinking about, let's say that there is a group, a class of students, and you're going to discuss with them some kind of a story or an article. And you, as a teacher, of course, you want all the students to get involved into the discussion, but it could be that difficult, time-consuming to listen to each other's thoughts, the agreement, disagreement, and then not to miss anyone who is wishing to say something. So what can be done there, that students record their initial thoughts or opinions, points of view on the article they have read. You listen to them as a teacher, and you give them the feedback, or you summarize, okay, I have heard that many of you have disagreed with the author. Let's discuss that. Yeah, give me your reasons, give me your points, why. Or just, I heard that all of you have enjoyed the main character. Now give me the reasons why. So just to give them a chance to express their initial thoughts on something, and then to summarize it during the next class.
Ooh, I love that. It's like a book or film critics.
Yeah, anything, right. Yeah, it could be like a game. Yeah, let's play. Film critics, movie critics. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's good too, because then they'll actually show their personality as well. So that's another way to engage with them. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're shy students in the class, but sometimes there are students that you cannot make them stop because they're very talkative. Yeah, and you like it, but you see the line of other 10 students who also wish to express their points of view. And recording the video gives them the chance, first of all, to limit their time, so they become more self-organized. And if they still have some kind of thoughts, they are able to record them, yeah, and not to interrupt them while they're speaking.
Yes, definitely. All right, Vince, did you have something you want to add?
I mean, we've had so many good examples already, but if anyone's watching this, the replay crew, if you could just throw some ideas in the chat or in the comments, later on, how are you using video for student engagement, and that would really be helpful, so other educators can see it too. So we can highlight those comments. Any comments we get, I'll pin them and everybody can see them. So
Exactly. Yes. All right. Well, it's that time, ladies and gentlemen, where we wrap up the proceedings. So, hope you all had a great time with us today. So, just a few things before we go ahead and close out. Obviously, if you would like more help, please visit us at swivl.com/setup to find out about our Swivl products. You can join us for our weekly Q&A sessions, which are every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by registering at swivl.com/events, where you would bring your Swivl related questions. Hey, we love them. Bring them all. You can follow us on our social media, starting with Instagram, which is at GoSwivl. You can also follow us on YouTube, where it's youtube.com/Swivl. Of course, also follow us on. Oh, whoops!
Yeah, we got everything. Follow us on everything. You just
yeah, follow us on everything. Make sure you hit that the bell icon on YouTube so you'll be notified when we post new videos or when we go live for our Swiveling Beyond sessions. And please, please, please join us next week, April 13th, for our next Swiveling Beyond session, where we're going to be looking at the swivel strategy, fix it aloud. Stay tuned.
Yeah, there's free resources for you next week. So yeah,
yes.
we'll be giving you those next week. And then yeah. So
awesome. So with that being said, thank you all for joining us as always. On behalf of Oksana, Vince, and myself, have a good one.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.